miles of climbing to go. Mile 0.0 up to the paved road. We'll turn into the park. So, everybody's been doing FKTs and White Rim in the last couple years. Just want to go out there and say this is not that. This is a this is a Flaanimal known time. I just want to come out here and ride it on this bike and see how different it is to do it with newer stuff that we had in 2014. Bigger tires, better gears. I actually didn't think that I would come back and try and do this in a day anytime soon, because I really think the best way to do White Rim is probably to spend a few nights out there. I don't see the point of rushing through something this beautiful. I mean, FKTs are cool. It's cool to see how fast somebody can do it, but for everyone else in the world like me who won't be doing it very fast, you gotta soak it in. So, something to think about. You can start this route and do it in a lot of different ways. I think some people start up here at the paved road that goes into the national park. But when I first did this, Chris and Derek in 2014, we started down at Mineral Bottom, which is where I started today, because it's at the bottom of this 10, 12, 15 mile climb. It's really gradual on this sort of washboard double track. But the good thing is, if you start early and it's cold, you're immediately climbing and you're warm within minutes. So that helps. Otherwise, you would be descending down on the White Rim, many thousands of vertical feet, freezing your butt off. Not a good way to start a ride. But if you're after the fastest known time, they might do it from up here. I don't know. I don't really care. This works well. Also, at the end, you come up these kind of brutal switchbacks for a couple miles. Instead of coming up those switchbacks and then climbing this, if you do this first, you're just done at the top of the switchbacks. The car's right there. Highly recommend doing it this way. Never done it counterclockwise. I go clockwise. Just like it better. Although, I don't know why I'm saying that. I've never done it counterclockwise. I don't think I would want to come up SCHAFER at the end. That's a really long climb. And then another paved climb. Yeah. Speaking of getting hot, I am dripping with sweat 8 miles in on the climb. So, I'm taking this vest off. It's stupid. I think you normally get 60 degrees at 8 a.m. in March in the desert. Last time I did this, there was snow on some sections. And I think maybe that was April. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's very warm. You can see sweat popping off my helmet. So I don't want to waste all my water with sweat. So I may as well just stop and layer down. 1 hour, 13 miles in is the paved road. Obligatory forerunner passes us by. Back there's where most of the riders seem to be parked. Be interesting to see if I run into anyone out there today. They would have all left an hour or two ago. It's 8:30 in the morning now. So now I have a headwind. It's actually winds up to 22 miles an hour today. But I should be going about 10. I don't really think that's that big of a deal. And I'll take this round over. So I'm not going to get as roasted or drink as much water. It's also interesting, 13 miles of riding, 1,300 feet of climbing. So it's a good start for the day. I don't know what the total vert is on this. I don't really want to know. Better not to know. I'm going to get a descent at some point soon. But at some point today I'm going to be on the wrong bike. And a mountain bike would be the better thing to ride. But right now, 20 miles an hour in a headwind and down the road, pretty happy to have drop bars. This is definitely a route with a lot of different surface types. So you're always going to be on the wrong bike at some point. I just went through the toll booth. It's $15 to get in to Canyonlands National Park. And you have to have a mask at the gate. I have my Mid-South buff, courtesy Bobby Wintle. I will not be at Mid-South, but hopefully this makes up for it, Bobby. Thanks for the mask. This is the entrance to SCHAFER Trail. It's probably the coolest part of this whole ride is this descent, which is very difficult to capture, but I will try to capture the cool part of it, because it's just like carved out of the mountain. It's mind-boggling. You think of White Rim, you think of cliffs and big rock formations, things like that. I feel like, what are we, 22 miles in, starting to get a sense of just how awesome it is out here. I'll see if I can show you. This is the first view of SCHAFER. Pretty awesome stuff. I don't know if that'll ever show up in a picture, but that's just so beautiful. Wonder if I can give you vertigo with a little camera like this. Probably not. But look at how awesome this bowl is. I love it. I'm running out of energy, so 25 miles in. Time for the first Snickers bar. Woo. Not going to go quite as fast down this because it's actually more fun showing how cool it looks. Kind of wish I had moto brakes right now though. I could be dragging my rear brake instead of my front. Here we go. Switch hands. Moon dusting. Well, spent an inordinate amount of time taking pictures on SCHAFER, which lowered my average speed quite a bit, which is not that important, but I want to just kind of hold somewhere around 10 miles an hour. A little faster, a little slower today in general. Be done in about 10 hours. This is an airstrike trip. Driving out, camping, doing it, and driving back the same day. So I don't want to get home 3 in the morning. It means I need to make decent headway. So fighting the compulsion to stop and take pictures is very difficult, because I like doing that as much as I like riding bikes. And this is so beautiful. The cloud cover is actually super helpful, and it isn't all blown out and super bright sunlight today, which is pretty cool. I didn't really think March was a time, or early March, was a time to go. I don't really know what the time. Spring and fall are the white rim time. But I looked at the forecast and it just looked really good. So here I am. Gotta get it while the getting's good. There are not a lot of people here, which is really nice. Having this all to yourself, it's pretty next level. So I noticed this cage was wobbling really bad, and I did not Loctite these bolts yesterday before I left, which if you're going to load up your fork, do make sure these bolts stay tight. If they do come loose, you might lose the bolt on top of other things, and have no real way to fix it unless you bring extra bolts. So these things are very resilient unless the bolt comes out. So don't want to be sitting here tightening bolts, but the alternative is pretty gnar. So took care of some business. So here we are at Musselman March, and pretty cool. Really wish that you were allowed to walk across it. I mean, you used to be able to, but clearly I'm not going to break that rule. But I can at least show you kind of what it's like. Woo! Through the power of technology. Show you what it's like to go under it. So that's the actual arch. I am not walking across it. I kind of have vertigo, so I'm not walking all the way up to the edge. Check this out. Hello? Pretty cool. This concludes your Musselman Arch tour. Pretty dramatic overlook. A couple million years, this will probably be an arch right here. We are 36 miles in. And this is really the first size First sign of a little hill in a long time. And it looks like it's over. Woo-hoo. Means it's a downhill. Those are fun. So, you're on a gravel bike on these descents. The shock stop stem does a lot to smooth it out. And the big tire helps a lot. It's not as much as having a suspension fork, and you're not gonna like just rip it like you would on a mountain bike. Speaking of, hike. But you can pick a smooth line through that stuff and you can rip it pretty fast. I would go quicker, but I have this bar bag kind of bouncing around. I want my lunch to pop out of it. The lid won't seal. Now it's just smooth like butter. Mile 40, a nice little sandy section. I think it's really dry. I think sometimes the sand can get pretty deep, and I think there's some sand traps later. But right now in the late winter, early spring, sand's not too bad. It's kind of like surfing. Definitely can't complain about how soft it is. And now I'm back to picking a line. Definitely big section of like hard slick rock behind me. That was much more bumpy. Just kind of dealt with it. It'll definitely put some pounding on your back, so lower tire pressure or suspension posts like an EE Silk would be even more helpful for smoothing this out. But nothing has been too much. I mean, this is so much smoother than Morocco, it's not even funny. These landscapes are pretty similar. A lot of times in Morocco I kind of thought it looked a lot like Utah. But I gotta say, White Rim beats Morocco for scenery. Like these rock formations and arches and cliffs and things are just more dramatic. But they're both beautiful. And it's amazing to have something like this 6 hours from Denver. This is arguably a road trip, kind of a long one. But you got to take advantage of what you have close by. Well, I just had the most awesome few miles. I'm at mile 62, and like from 60 to 62 was like this fast, flowy. Now I'm paying for it. Flowy single track, and like it had these deep, soft sand, like double track, just down there. And the bike would like surf in it. I think I had my tire pressure really good. I let some air out of the back earlier to soften up the rear, help my back. And the whole bike's just surfing in and out, flying like 20-25 miles an hour down this trail. That's good stuff. I'm making really good time now after all those stops early on. I had like this 50-mile goal, and I thought it was that overlook, but we're still not at the overlook, and we're at mile 62, so much for the goal. I ate some a peanut butter and jelly tortilla, just drank some Powerade, and that just brought me back to life, so may as well pass some quick miles. Still super empty, a couple of cars, and one group of like bike camper, like 2-3 day type people, but pretty awesome solitude experience out here in the desert. If I had to guess, probably still low 70s maybe. So there's a breeze, sometimes it's like a really stiff headwind. Sometimes I get hit by a dust devil, that's kind of epic. But I am having a blast. This is a good day. Nasty little hill. 64 and a half. All the way to my 52s. Well, I can confirm that the super hill is right up straight ahead of me. What I've been waiting for all day. All the flat section here before it's over for me. Well, this is as bad as I remember it. Oh, what a wall. Note to self, leave something in the tank for the hill at 65 miles. It's not even over. Ah! Gotta use these little flat things between the ramps to recover. Now I can see the top. And a ramp. Final pitch. Ah, got it. Already 175. Man watts. This is a descent that would be better on a mountain bike. It's super cool. It's not so bad on this. Just can't quite let off the brakes and send it. You kind of got to pick a line and go a little slower just in case some big pothole comes out and jumps out at you. Remember that being more intense last time. Probably because we were on 35mm cross bosses, which is not a lot of tire for this ride. These tires have been great. Well, mile 70. The only problem with stopping is restarting. Your rhythm's all off. It's later in the ride. And I'm kind of tired. Not bad tired, but like counting down the miles tired. Although, there's nothing to complain about. It's this nice sandy road. Good temperature. Beautiful surroundings. And fat tires. Yeah, this is like a little surfing section here. Woo! Big cliff. Rather not lose my bike to the side of that. of this trip is just to get away and do something outside of Denver. It's the world. I feel so small right now. Another reason to do it is because this is how to stay connected to what this company is. You know, if your bikes are good, if you ride them, you know what your bikes are about. If you take them places. And we have had such a busy year already in the office. Just bikes, selling bikes. Just one after another. And it's awesome. Like, it's amazing that all of you people are showing up and supporting us, letting us do this passion for a living. But I think if you spend too much time at your desk, you start counting transactions, and just the bikes are going so fast. I can't even put a name to all of them. I don't really have the pulse of what's going on, and you start to feel just like a deal maker, just closing deals, which is not the reason that rodeos exist. We really just love riding bikes, going places, seeing things, telling stories, making cool stuff. That's what we want to do. I've abandoned everyone at the office. I owe them a lot for holding down the fort while I'm out here doing this, but I know that that's what everybody at the office likes. Sheldon, Jen, Soren, Drew, Isaac, Steve, in Vegas, who builds our wheels. It's like riding bikes. And going places like this. If you go to the desert by yourself for a day, it helps you reconnect with why you're doing this and what you love about it. It's just super pumped about it. Go back tomorrow, tell a story, remember your context, why we're doing it, and just get super charged up for the rest of the year. There is a lot of work left to do this year. We have so many bikes to build and deliver. So, actually, a big thanks to everybody who watches this, who supports what we do. This is all made possible by all of you. How's that for a rant? That's the delirium talking. I'm so dehydrated. There it is. Nasty little bump at mile 74. Don't say nobody warned you. midday. Well, it's late in the day, but it feels like midday. Kind of malaise. It's hot. The trail is more smooth down here, which is really nice as I hit bumps. And gradually downhill towards the river. So this is definitely something to look forward to. Do this. The river's just to my left. I can't quite get to it. Still looking for a good spot. Really want to get down there. It looks so green and refreshing. I'm going to find it. Uh-oh. Might be a dead end. Well, not getting down there. But it was worth a shot. Look at that. Okay, I'll find another way. And we'll see if I can get back up this now. Rain gear. Stay on the rock. This thing about slick rock is it has infinite traction. That would have been an incredible place if the river's deep there to jump off a cliff. But you don't know if it's deep. Well, I'm bushwhacking my way to the river, or at least following the trail of some other bushwhackers. Yes, I'm on my hands and knees with 2 Gatorade bottles and a wool shirt. Figure this is my best chance to get some water. Whew. There it is. Wow, this is the thickest undergrowth I've seen. But, look at that. My own slice of Green River. I think it's worth a little bushwhack. I'm going to refill. Purified some water in the Colorado River, and when I made a little video of it, and then dropped my phone in the river, and it's gone. And I looked for it for half hour, 45 minutes. I had stripped down and stomped around in the mud, looking for my phone. And the phone is gone. So it's time to grieve. I did get 60 ounces of water with water purifying tablets, and I'm back on the road in shock. I just went up the nasty climb at mile 88. Nasty little, it's not that long, but it's something to look out for. Now I'm closing in on mile 90, about 45 minutes off pace because I stood in the Colorado, or the Green River in ice cold water, sloshing around in the mud looking for my phone. Because that's life, I guess. Section at mile 92, it's usually really deep sand. Well, at least it was 7 years ago when I did it. But right now, early spring conditions, zipping right along. It's definitely going to turn into deep sand with more traffic and less moisture. But right now it's pretty great. Or maybe knock on wood, because maybe it'll turn to sand in 15 feet. Let's see. Well, the ride load died, and my phone is in the river, so this is the final climb. I'm at mile 99.3, and I gotta get up there. Kind of dead. We'll get there. Besides being tough, it's not a bad climb. Especially a golden hour. That's it. That's the top. The last climb. Done. I stole my car. That's pretty great. Alright, well, there's the final stats. 100.8 miles. It's 6-ish, and I don't really know what my moving time was. I paused it a few times. Well, it says my average speed was 10.8, so that's pretty good. I'm really tired, really bummed that I lost my phone. I can't even text my wife that I'm okay, but I tried to use a little inReach. And now I just got to get this in the car and drive back to Denver tonight. I'll try and do a recap later, but really everything was great with the bike. Really like that ratio mullet setup. Need some chain lube. Could have used a smaller chain ring. A 42 isn't quite right. Water purifying tablets were pretty critical for the end. Also, there were plenty of places to get water easily, just a little further than where I did, so disaster could have been averted there. Yeah, all in all, it's a good day. You gotta go and you gotta take adventures by yourself, clear your head, and reset your mind. Mission accomplished.